Hello and welcome to the Sentinel Town demonstration. I'm going to walk you through the various components that make up our digital town. But before we actually go into the simulation, I would like to actually show you the catalog of assignments. Sentinel Town is a unique simulation in that we provide the instructors with access to a very robust catalog of assignments from which they can pick which assignment or assignments they would like their students to complete using the virtual community. Okay, so what you see on the screen, of course, would be the list of the current 26 different assignments that we do have in the town. And you can see probably a lot of things you would expect to see, like a windshield survey and some intervention assignments and emergency preparedness activities, as well as things revolving around the subsystems and nutrition and policy and even some pandemic activities as well. But there's a huge variety again of assignments and ways that you can use them. Something I do like to point out, this document is in Word, and that's primarily for two reasons. Number one, we call these assignment ideas, and that's because we want our faculty and instructors to feel free to edit these, to add additional external resources, or maybe delete a resource that we've included. But then when you do have the assignment the way that you want to present it to your learners, having it in Word makes it extremely easy to then copy and paste the assignment right out of the catalog and put it into your course or syllabus. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and choose an avatar. And as the sim is loading up, I do like to mention there are lots of folks to interact with and lots of sounds to hear as we go through the community. But for purposes of the demonstration, I do leave the volume off so it is not distracting to have me speaking as well as the narrator. So for example, right now, the narrator would be reading to us this screen of instructions, okay? And I will say, pretty intuitive. The icons are rather user-friendly. I think the two things that you might not find obvious unless you did listen to the instructions would be the ability to click your mouse and drag it and look out the windows, or to use the arrow keys to navigate your avatar throughout the simulation. Okay, so I am going to choose a speed and hit the large start button, and you will immediately realize that we are in quite a small town. Okay, and again, just to demonstrate, you can click the mouse and look out the windows and sort of see all the things going on around you. Now, I can stop the car by going up to the top left and hitting stop car. It's basically the gas and the brake pedal. I can go to the far right and click the walk button if I would like to put my avatar into the sim and get out and walk around. And I can go, 360 degrees, okay? If I click drive, it's obviously going to put me right back in the car where it left me, and I begin my tour again, okay? Now, you saw all those assignments. The way that we provide the learners with the information they need in order to do any of those assignments is through four key ways, okay? The first way, or the first component, is over here on the left, the red PDF tab. When we click on that, we are presented with the town demographics, okay? And I will mention here that these are not fictitious data points. These are actually pulled from a town approximately 70 or 75 miles from Denver, because that's where we are headquartered. So we did want to, make it as realistic as possible. So you've got two sheets of traditional demographics, followed by the birth and death rates. And you probably have noticed this is a PDF, so it is downloadable, which then gives the learner an opportunity to work with that information offline. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start the car again, go down the street here a little ways. The second way that we really share information with the learners are through these data icons. And I'm going to stop the car here, and you'll notice there's a box that seems to be sort of suspended in the air that's floating. That's a data icon box. So we're at the Town Cafe, and if I were to open the data box there at the cafe, we could see these 5 different options of data. Everything from reported foodborne illnesses, to between bacterial, parasitic, and viral, to the actual menu at the cafe, to hours of operation. Okay, and with each data table, there will be a graph as well as the data itself. Okay, so these data tables are dispersed throughout the simulation. Okay, you can certainly ride on the car and you will find all of them. However, the easiest way to gain access to any of them is to go up here in the middle and click on Map View. Okay, so now you can see we have 3 choices: location, key informants, citizens. So we're obviously on the locations tab now, and you can see by the blinking blue dot that we are in fact here by the cafe. Okay, so it's any of these locations that will have a data set similar to what we just pulled up at the cafe. Okay, so we have our PDF that has our demographics, we have our locations which have data sets. The third way that we share information with the learners are as through our key informants. Okay, and the key informants play a pivotal role in the learners starting to make the connections and literally connect the dots between the subsystems, right? So it's an opportunity to start showing them that not every person that they come in contact with is going to be a patient. Sometimes that individual is there to, again, be a key informant, be a provider of information. And so we use a variety of individuals throughout the town. For example, Janet Mills, who happens to be a postal worker. And we're going to ask Janet, as well as the other key informants, what they feel or how they would describe each of the subsystems and how it impacts the citizens in Sentinel Town. And again, if we had our volume on, you would hear her response as well as being able to read it. And it does, again, start to draw a very clear picture of sort of what is the overall health and well-being of this community based on its subsystems. Okay. So if we have our demographics, we have our data sets, we have our key informants. The fourth way that we share information with the learners is through the citizens. Okay, so again, if we were to click on our teenager, for example, we would have an opportunity to get to know Sophia. And again, she's not our patient, right? We might use her for that population-focused intervention activity. But we get to learn a little bit about the citizens by clicking on these various tabs. But really, kind of the heart and the purpose of their being in the sim is to, again, share information with the learner that's going to be pivotal and key in completing the assignments that they've been given. Okay, so if we clicked on a question, again, we would see and hear her response. Okay, all right, so a couple more things I like to point out. The volume and the zoom in are related to accessibility mode. The help button, of course, brings back up that help screen that we saw when we first launched the simulation. And over on the right, the tab in the red is a monitor icon, and that enables the learner to view their dashboard. The faculty can view the dashboards for all the students, okay? And that dashboard is going to contain basically any time the learner clicks on any of the things that we just clicked on. So we clicked on Sophia, that would appear on my dashboard. We opened up the data set at the cafe, that will appear on my dashboard, okay? So it's very helpful for a variety of reasons. If the learner is doing an assignment and they're having difficulty finding the information that they're looking for, if they go to their dashboard, they will very quickly see where they haven't been, because it'll have a 0 next to it, or the citizen or the key informant that they haven't connected with. Again, it would have a 0, okay? So very useful for the learner. Also, if you're going to put a time requirement on them to be in the simulation a certain amount of time, or just simply the fact that it would be pretty difficult to do a good windshield survey and only have been in the simulation 5 minutes. It's also going to track the amount of time that they spend in the simulation, okay? And underneath that, in the purple tab, sort of looks like a set of mountains with the moon, you have the ability to create a photo journal. Okay, so when they click on the icon, it's going to capture what's on the screen and then enable them to take notes for later. And when they do actually download the document, again, this is very nice because it's going to contain the information, you know, that they've put together in their journal. So you'll see it's stamped with their credentials, with their date and time, and their notes. And it again, it is a PDF, so you'll know that this was their work. Okay. All right, so that's that key functionality. Another item I do want to point out briefly before we go is the fact that we do have 24/7 technical support. There's a phone number, if you can see that on your screen, and there is an email address as well. So the students do have technical support 24/7. Thank you for your time. If you have an interest in looking at Sentinel Town more closely, please call or email us or contact us via our website to ask for a free faculty trial. Thank you.